All right, so it is officially 5 p.m. We are starting it. I'm going to try to record the whole entire thing. Hopefully, I'm not here that long. But, hey, this is unscripted. This is me just throwing an idea together. Didn't really think it through. But hey, I hope somebody shows up so I don't embarrass myself. Hey, I'm here to camp out. I got my "You Found Me" sign. Got my I got my water. I got my mic stand. That's all I really need. So, like I said, may get nobody, may get a couple. Guess we'll find out. We'll find out here. So. You know what's like crazy about this stuff is like I've been here 2 minutes and I'm pretty bored. And Mr. Beast would do like 7 days buried alive. That's impressive. That's very impressive. So it's like positives and negatives to this stuff, right? Negative is nobody comes to look like an idiot. And obviously it didn't work. But positive is I get to keep $100, and I'm going to probably give it away in another unique way. Um, but hey, I've come up with worse ideas that haven't worked. I guess it's nice outside. It's not raining. Um, and yeah, hey, it could always be worse. So only like 3 minutes in, so it's actually not terrible. I actually didn't expect anybody to come this early, so we'll see. I'm gonna say probably and it'll probably be like the half-hour mark is hopefully when we get somebody. Um, that's my goal. That's what I'm thinking. Um, but hey, guess is as good as mine. So. I'd also like to point out too, I look like an idiot, just because I'm standing out here with the sign that says "You found me." I'm also like recording myself with a microphone. I haven't got the "What are you doing" yet, so I'm kind of surprised. But as you notice, there's a lot of cars going by, so I don't think the police will get called, but again, I think somebody may come up and say something. I think I think we got somebody. I think we do got somebody. Wow, eight 8 minutes. Wow, I would have. This is way off. I'm way off.
There we go.
There he is. What's up, man?
Good to see
You
dude.
got your stuff.
Dude, I
wow.
had to stop into that place
Wow.
over there and get a pen and paper. I wasn't prepared at all.
Okay, I like it. I like it. Well, hey, we gotta. If you want to just show. Well, actually, let's. How about this? Let's talk about it first. All right. I'm impressed, man. 8 minutes is. I was.
Dude, I was around the corner.
Okay.
It's perfect.
All right. I was guessing about 30 minutes. But hey, I was not even close. So, all right. So, if you want to kind of go into some of the goals that you had written down.
Yeah, dude. So, some of the goals I wrote down.
Yep, as long as you're in there, that's perfect.
I want to take the cleaning company I started a year and a half ago to other markets, and I want to grow it to 10 employees this year. Right now, we're a team of 5, and we've fluctuated between like 7 employees and 5 employees. And I want to make this thing into a real enterprise. I want 10 employees here in Cleveland, And then I want to take this to Geneva, where we're opening a new franchise. And I want to go to Columbus after that. And I want to be a multi-market cleaning franchise by the end of this year. The layer to that I wrote down is I want to do that and return to the real estate lending business at the same time.
Okay.
And keep reaching my goals in fitness and in health. Because when I met you, when I first started in the lending business, man, I was neglecting my body.
Yeah.
I wasn't very healthy.
Yeah.
I wasn't working out, and so my goals are a lot different now. I wanna do all the same things, but with a greater commitment to myself.
Nice.
And my body.
Nice.
That's the goals that I wrote down.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's if you want to show the camera, oh my goodness, that's awesome. That's amazing. And obviously that's the whole entire premises of this thing, right? To kind of get people thinking outside the box. And I think, we have that, okay, yeah, I have goals. I have goals that I want to accomplish, but once you write them down, and then keep in mind, I had you say it on camera, so hopefully that'll also be another like level of accountability, for you. So you can either, watch it and, hopefully see like, oh yeah, like, I said that, to multiple people, so.
I should have wrote this down too, but I was in a hurry. Another big goal I have is I was inspired by your new commitment to content over the last couple of years, and I want to start doing stuff like this right here.
Nice.
I think documenting my journey is something I haven't been doing, and I need to do that. It builds accountability, and getting in front of the camera and saying, this is what I want to do this year.
Yeah.
And then when I get it done, I can repost this video and say, I said I would do it, and then I did it. And I just think that's super powerful. And one thing that I haven't done enough of is documenting how we're doing what we're doing and sharing our story and sharing our goals with the world. Because obviously sharing my goal with other people puts me in a spot where they can help me, but it also keeps me accountable.
Yeah.
If I'm not reaching any of the goals that I set for myself in the public eye, then it doesn't reflect well on me. And I think that that's huge for personal accountability, self-accountability.
Yeah. No, and definitely, I mean, you hit so many things on the head, and obviously, and I document my, failures as well. Last year around, a little later than this, I did a kind of another $100 scavenger hunt, but what I did was, if you see me anytime on the street and you give your goals and ambitions, everything like that, I'll give you $100 out of my pocket. Now, obviously, that I never give away $100 because nobody knows my schedule, right? But the kind of the premises was people would like write stuff down, right? And then as they write stuff down, hopefully whether they see me or not, they're going to implement those goals. And that was kind of like the whole entire premises of this. Like, granted, not everybody obviously is going to get $100, but the aspect of writing down your goals is like what I'm trying to accomplish, right?
Yeah.
I think, the money was kind of incentive, for people. And I think hopefully people, will see that. And hopefully, because sometimes it does just take that little extra, okay, it's on paper. I told somebody about it, because there was a lot of ideas that we had in our head. When I started this, I didn't really tell anybody about it, really at all. I was just like, what? One day I literally wrote in my, I have like a planner, not like a planner, but like a to-do list. And literally on my to-do list, all I said was, change my life. That's literally all I put on there. And it was going to be this. And actually this very spot, I want to say October of 20, I forget the year, it was coming up on 2 years ago. That's where I did my first one. So I'm like, all right, to kind of go down this path, I definitely want to do it here to start. So that's really cool. I guess activity-wise, or is there anything that you're going to physically do in the next hour, day, month, week, couple minutes, that'll kind of get you a little closer to that goal of what you're trying to accomplish?
Yeah. For the past year, it's been building. It's been making the systems. It's been making websites and creating a social media plan with a social media manager and doing all of these things. But now, to grow a cleaning company for me boils down to small actions over and over again every day. For a lot of people, like, you might sit there and play Call of Duty over and over again so you can hit that next prestige. And it's video games in real life. Yeah. I have to keep grinding and keep getting the next achievement to level up. And for the cleaning company, it's literally as simple as talk to more people on Indeed, take those leads off of Indeed, and have a conversation with all 200 of them. We're getting 150 to 200 applicants a day. And so it's really challenging to do that. But if I fill up 8 hours a day of just interviewing cleaners one at a time over and over and over again all day, then I will reach my goal of hiring. And it boils down to, it sounds like a big, huge, maybe unattainable goal to hire 10 people in the next 6 months. But for me, it's how many people do I truly have to talk to do that?
Yeah.
It's not that many.
Yeah.
As far as getting cleans to support those staff members, it's the same thing. Put more money into the ads, talk to more people about cleaning for them, and we will get more cleans. And so, to answer your question, the steps I'm going to take are just a bunch of small, everyday steps. Is it fun to interview people all day? Absolutely not. But the reward of finding that person that you're like, oh my God, you are perfect for this job.
Yeah.
And I would hang out with you even if you don't come to clean here. That reward is invaluable to me.
Yeah.
And the team that we built so far at the cleaning company is awesome, and we're all friends. And I think if I can grow a team of 10 people this year here in Cleveland that all consider one another friends and that all love to hang out outside of work,
Yeah.
then that's a great culture.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm looking to do. That's the idea.
Nice. Well, I gotta at least get you your prize at least, right? So I don't. You gotta get it on camera to make sure people don't think I'm just playing around here. So
He ain't playing, and there's a lot of cards in that.
a lot, man. I've needed. I tell you what, Darian, what would you do with $100? I'd buy a new wallet. That's what I would do. All right, so just want to show the people, it's real.
Blue bill.
It's literally in the light. All right, it's in the light. You can see it. This is real. So this is yours, sir, for being the first one here.
Thank you, Darian.
First one here. And this isn't a discouragement, for anyone. I definitely want to do, more of these videos, and also too, I want to do more of these in unique ways, right? I would love to, one day be able to give away $1,000, right? And also highlight businesses. I would love to do this next time at a business or, somewhere, that's going to get someone exposure, killing a couple birds with one stone. But I think the follow-up question will be, how do you plan on spending the money?
So, for every $100 that I spend on ads, I get 5 customers.
Nice.
For every 5 customers that walk in my door, I get to clean for just one of them. So this $100 bill will result in 1 new customer at Spot On Cleaners, another family that's happy with our service and not cleaning their own house anymore.
Nice.
It's going to be exciting.
That's awesome. I love how you broke it down as far as like, here's, my, essentially cost per dollar, right? And here's what $100 would get me. And that's kind of how I, look at things too, where it's hard to like analyze this type of stuff. Obviously, it's the first video I've done this way, but it's hard to analyze, okay, like what would $100 do for, my content, right?
Yeah.
How many more people does this get exposed to? Because, I think you as well as I stop looking at money as in, okay, what is it going to cost me? It's, okay, how am I going to benefit from it?
Yeah,
right?
what opportunities can it generate? And I think, like, especially over the last 2 years, like I went from a really, really high paying job in the mortgage business to no money and building a cleaning company. And I got to say, without the money and without the massive commitment of building that lending company and the huge weight, I've been much happier and built my health a lot. And oddly enough, poorest I've been, happiest I've been, and most successful I've been with the least amount of money in my bank account. And I think it's understated the power of $100. This can do so much for you. Mm-hmm. And it's really easy to lose sight of that when, a lot of people are paycheck to paycheck. Yeah. A lot of people can barely afford groceries. But if you can even throw $50 to one side, or $50 aside and invest it in yourself in any way, a course, an online course, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's something that is furthering you towards your goal, even by an inch, then you've already made a step in the right direction that you may not have made previously. And that's the thought I have on $100 and the value of $1.
No, I love it. I'm reading, listening to. I always say reading, but I'm listening to. 10x is easier than 2x. So essentially, what it talks about is just hey, we always want to like double our outcome, but it's like, well, why not go 10x? But the average person thinks like, well, if I do 10x, I have to do 10 times more. There's not enough time in the day. It's like, well, no, focus on, what makes you the most amount of money, right?
Yeah.
So instead of like, hey, like if there's dimes, pennies, quarters, and nickels out there, right? Out there, and every single time you go out there and you can only pick up one coin. It's like, instead of focusing on picking up, 100 pennies quickly, why don't you, go out there and pick up, 10, quarters strategically, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same concept with life, where like, hey, focus on, what matters. And it sounds like, we need employees,
Yeah.
And with the employees, that's what's going to grow the business, right? So, and it's important to understand like that concept, and you're kind of, further on in your business, but, whether you're looking to get anything started, content creation, food truck, whatever it is, I think like, break that down into, okay, you always like, what is a money making activity for me, and what is not, like, is taking out the trash money making activity? Probably not. But is being in front of customers? Yes, probably.
Definitely.
Answering the phone is probably a money making activity. And a lot of times you see, people, when you go to these places, the phone will ring, right? But it's like, oh, well, I got to go in the back because I got to, take the trash out. It's like, you're potentially losing money because you don't know who's on the other side of that phone, right?
Yeah.
And, hey, I'm putting in, I want to put an order of 20 pizzas. I need to get it now. They don't answer. Guess what? I'm not going to wait till they call me back, because obviously they're not going to call me back. I'm just going to call somebody else.
Most of the time, that revenue would have paid for you to hire somebody to take that trash out. And that's something that we've been learning the hard way over the past 2 years with Spot On, is like, I'm sitting at my desk all day long interviewing and talking on the phone, and I'm paying myself a measly, $2,000 a month. I'll be open about that. I could be paying myself $1,500 a month instead.
Yeah.
And paying a virtual assistant $500 a month to do 100% of the interview process, 100% of the sales process, and I wouldn't be in this position. We would be spending more time chasing a building like that, Chase Bank, or this big, or the West Side Market. I should be walking in there and figuring out how I can clean that, but instead I'm spending more time interviewing and selling cleans and answering the phone. And I want to touch really quick on the 10x is easier than 2x, because I really like thinking about business in terms of multiples. I think that a lot of people get discouraged early on in their business. They look at the bank account and they say, man, this thing's only making $500 a month. But if you stop thinking about the money and you start thinking about the multiple, how do I multiply this by 2? Now I'm making $1,000 a month. Now how do I multiply this by 2 again? And now I'm making $2,000 a month. And really quickly that results in exponential growth. But as you continue to progress through those multiples get more and more challenging and more complex. And that's the real game. The real game's not how do I make a buck. It's how do I multiply my earnings repeatedly every single year, over and over again. And I think that's the real game that people should play. Don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged if you're not making the money you want to make right now. Just put the money that you're making right now into your calculator and then do x2 times 2 times 2, and you'll quickly recognize that you're a very small amount of multiples away from your dream life. And that's my advice.
I love that. No, I love that so much, because I think like, we, I always say like give an attainable goal, right? Like, hey, make $1 million tomorrow. Obviously it's not saying it's impossible, but it's going to be hard to, but if you break that goal down into, okay, like, let's just say $1 million next year, what does that equate to, each and every day? If you're in a sales job, okay, how many sales is that? Obviously I'm going to speak from a real estate standpoint, how many commission checks does that, per, so you break that down to how many clients, how many, appointments you have to go on to, and so on, so on. I always say kind of like give that, real attainable goal, that's out there. And just kind of a quick story. I mean, obviously we met a couple years ago, and he was doing lending, and, obviously now you're doing your cleaning business, but I mean, just, I want to kind of touch on your mindset, because obviously, I think, you think differently, than the average person, and obviously you're fairly young too, so if you want to kind of talk about, I guess, why is it that you're just so hungry, all the time, and is there things that maybe other people can pick up on that you do? Maybe it's affirmations, maybe it's just, hey, it's how I grew up, but if you want to kind of touch on like, why you are the way that you are. What I mean by that is a lot of people, may not know who you are, but I mean, just absolute hustler, just went to every event and just absolutely killed it and really made it a name for yourself very, very quickly, in the real estate world. So if you kind of want to just touch on like how you're just such a bulldog and where you get that mindset from.
Yeah. You know, I say this a lot, and I feel like it's not great reasoning, to be honest. So I'm going to preface this with that. But I grew up in Avon Lake, and if Mom, Dad, if either of you see this, I apologize in advance. But I grew up with a pretty measly income in the house in a very rich town. When I went to school in, my Goodwill clothes and saw everybody else in their Nike stuff, it got to me. It truly did. And I grew up hungry. I grew up wanting to make more money. I started working when I was 14 at a landscaping company. My dad, all summer long, he would drive to work at AT&T, he was a cable guy, and drop me off at 4:45 a.m. in the parking lot. But the building wasn't open yet, so I'd sleep on the ground outside of the garage door, and then they would open it up at about 6:30, and I'm sleeping on the ground out there.
Wow.
And then they brought me in. I lied about my age to get that job. Wow. So I told them I was 16. I was 14. They let me drive the truck around. I learned how to drive at a landscaping company after lying to them about my age. I don't know why they didn't check, but it worked out in my favor, and it was $10 an hour under the table, and I was on top of the world. I had money now. I had the ability to buy nice clothes, and I had the ability to buy my own car and fix my own car. And I think that hunger never went away. I think that when I came back to school, freshman year of high school, 14 years old, I've got like $4,000 in the bank. I am a high roller, man. And I felt like a new man my freshman year of high school because I had this $10 an hour under the table job for one summer, and I busted my ass while everyone else had fun. And it was downloaded into my soul ever since then. I never stopped working my ass off ever since that summer after 8th grade. And I think learning the value of a dollar that way is really, really valuable, and understanding how hard work can change your life.
Yeah, 100%.
Learning that at a young age just by growing up in a rich town poor was amazing. And also just watching my dad growing up, starting failing companies. He's an amazing guy. If you see this, I love you to death. But he started an apparel company. I was a wrestler. He started wrestlershop.com. It failed. He tried a network company called Contract Network Services, which failed as well. He was in a partnership with my mother on that business, and I watched that fail. And I think watching my dad have a full-time job, try to start these companies anyways and fail. We're still poor, but he doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's still at home, and he's still doing his best for the family. I think watching that happen taught me a lot more about business than having a father that's, got an enterprise. I think watching him make those mistakes, and I'm like a 13-year-old kid. I'm like, Dad, what if we hire a designer and stop just putting team logos on the stuff, and we make our own designs? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm constantly throwing ideas out there for my dad about how he could make this business work. Were the ideas good? Definitely not. I was a young boy, but being a part of that journey with my father growing up and being really poor, it instilled this hardworking mindset in me. And then I'll also say, failing multiple times myself in my own endeavors taught me so much. I used to tie my happiness to my bank account. My senior year of high school, I started an insurance sales company and failed. Then I went into the mortgage business. I burnt out at Rocket Mortgage. Whatever. And, I thought that if I just make a bunch of money, then I'll be happy and all my problems will go away. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt now that that's not true, and that numbers and money follow, they don't lead. And if you're a killer, if you're providing value to lots of people, the money's just a natural side effect, and you're not going to be able to draw happiness from it. But it's definitely going to feel good to buy a BMW.
There you go. I was actually just listening to watching something. Dan Bilzerian was talking, and obviously, if you know who he is, he's multi-millionaire, just has a unique lifestyle that has, attracted a lot of, Instagram and social media attention from him. But he goes on to say, like, I don't even really care about money anymore. He's like, obviously it's nice, but he's like, the joy now that I get out of life is just doing stuff that is free with my friends, right?
Yeah.
And I think too, like, obviously we all have financial goals, and it's easy for him to say right now because obviously he's attained like insane financial, success, right? So it's just, that's definitely another side of the coin. But I think too, yeah, I think like obviously like money is important, but like, I think, if you were to ask, hey, what is your like big goal? It may not be something that's financial. It may be something that's spiritual, mental, like you said, physical. And I think that's so important to, to have. And yeah, man. So like I said, I don't want to keep you too long unless you want to say it's up to you.
Man. This is like, I think part of the reason that I came and found you is because I want to do this.
Yeah. Okay.
And
nice.
I look up to you through this content. I'm mad at myself for not making content yet.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a lot of value I can provide, and this is just a good at-bat.
Yeah.
I thought come out here and talk to Darian,
Yeah.
Great guy, and it'd be fun. And I guess one more thought on that money ideology. There's all kinds of people around here walking around.
Yes.
There's a guy in a high vis and a hard hat over there. There's all these cars driving by. I could ask every single one of them what they do for a living, and none of them would say I make money for a living. Maybe somebody, but I severely doubt that anybody in this general area right now would say I make money for a living. Everybody here does something, whether it's concrete, whether it's secretary, whether it's cashier, whether it's cook, whether it's realtor, whether it's mortgage guy, cleaning company owner. Everybody does something to make money. And if you say, I have this goal, I'm going to do this so that I can make money, your goal is founded on something that is fake. I don't want to get political, but they're printing money left and right. The value of the dollar is plummeting. If you want to back up your goal with something as fake as the US dollar, you're in trouble. I think you got to think first about just being a better person, helping more people, and doing good things. And money's just going to naturally come as a side effect, to double down on that point. Yeah. And I think that's just a good way to think about it. Everybody does something for a living. Nobody's making money for a living. They're doing something. And if you can do more something, and everybody likes that something, the money's just naturally going to happen.
There you go. Yep. Literally, I mean, hit the nail right on the head there, and it's, so true that anything is possible. And I think, obviously, I look at money a little differently, and kind of piggyback off of, your parents. I'm a firm believer that, my parents are, some of the hardest working people, I've ever came across, right? But then, I go to college and I go to Las Vegas and I, went to Elyria Catholic, which is a private school, I noticed like, man, these houses, are big, or, that's a really nice car that person's driving. And it's like, their parents are always home, it's like, why is that?
Yeah.
And then it kind of gets the wheels turning in your head, like, wait a minute, why can they be home, but my parents can't be? And I know that, they're not, as whatever, financially well off as other people, but again, I'm forever grateful for that because I know how hard they worked, and that instilled that, hard work ethic in me, in order to, be a hardworking person and understand the value of a dollar, and like I said, what a dollar can do for you. So, yeah, man, like I said, I don't want to keep you too long here, but if you just kind of wanted to, share, a message, or final thoughts, to the world, what would those final thoughts be?
Tell everybody what you're trying to do. Tell 1,000 people what you're trying to do. Build your network through that. If you don't have something of value to provide right now, then that's your goal. You're looking to learn. And the more people that you tell about your goals, the more likely you are to reach them. And if you ask yourself and you look at yourself in the mirror and say, if you ask yourself in the mirror, how many people have I told this year about my goals? And the answer is 0 or a few or 10. You can do better. And it's easy to pick up the phone and start calling people. If you look at Darian's Instagram, I bet you could find his cell phone number and call him. I bet you could find a way to get on the phone with him. And there's 1 million people in this city that would be, okay, more like 350,000. But there's at least a few 100,000 people in this city who would be willing to lend you an ear, hear about what you're trying to do. Not all of them are going to be able to help you, but if you just make it your goal now to tell as many people about what you're trying to do as possible, your likelihood of succeeding is going to go up tenfold immediately.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you. It's so true. So true. You know, I think people don't know my goal is 20,000 passive a month. I've had this goal for years. And again, it's not so much the money I'm chasing after, it's the freedom. It's to be able to do this on a high level. It's to, you know, again, be able to give away $500 every single time, because, you know, I really do believe in people. And, you know, it's like, what is the aha moment? What is the moment, you know, that I get out of this? What do I get out of this? Well, you know, again, as I grow, as I continue to get more followers and a better base, you know, I get paid through content, you know, through TikTok, you know, YouTube and stuff like that. And that's enough payment for me, you know, and if I can, you know, spread that wealth and just really just give people the opportunity, you know, that's the biggest thing, is just realize that there's opportunity out there. I mean, there are people making $400, $500, $600, $1 million a month, you know, from social media, from different things, right? And I'm not saying you have to just do social media, but like, just understand, like, there's endless amounts of possibility with technology now. I mean, making money from your phone, drop shipping, to, you know, peer-to-peer lending. I mean, you know, starting companies. I mean, it's just, it's the world is at your fingertips. And unfortunately, the people who, you know, aren't successful, there will always be more people who just, you know, don't want to apply themselves, and there will be people who will, which, you know, again, I'm not going to go down that path, and that's their choice in life. But yeah, if you go after it, you know, Dana White said it perfectly. If you're an absolute savage in this generation, you just mow over every single person.
100%.
You know, and that really stuck with me, and it resonated with me, because, you know, when you know, you put on Facebook, hey, you know, I'm going to give out X amount of dollars or whatnot.
Making sure my carding is good.
You know, I'm going to give out, you know, or, you know, hey, show up to this, and I'm going to give you this. Like, you know, not many people show up, for a lot of different reasons, you know, but sometimes it's that fear of getting started. So that's it, man. We could talk all day long. I appreciate you stopping.
Yeah.
Man, 30, I love it, man. That's awesome. So thank you again, man. The last 20 seconds here. Last 20 seconds here. So, about 15 seconds till we hit the full hour. I'm glad this worked out. You know, I'm glad I was able to give away the $100. Stay tuned for a lot more videos like this. This is really cool, and I would love to collab with different businesses and whatnot, like I had talked about before. So, if you guys made it this far in the video, thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe for more videos like this. Darian Thomas, I'll see you later.